Thank you so much, Christy, Teresa Ann, for all that you do. Everybody in the room, it's a great honor to be here. Do we have any Colts fans here? Any Andrew Luck fans here? Reggie Wayne? Andrew's one of my biggest. I'm actually his biggest fan. Of course, if he wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be here today, along with some great doctors. I'd like to introduce Matt Conti. Matt's our Assistant Director of Communications at the Indianapolis Colts. Does a great job for us. Big hand for Matt. He's a great person. It's an honor for me to be here today to speak with you, to share a room with so many who choose to give back to the community. You should be very proud of your sacrifices, the time, money, and talents that you give. But most of all, you should be very proud of the impact that you have made in this community. The NFL and the United Way is basically, as was mentioned, have partnered for 40 years. Each season, we as the Colts have an opportunity to work with the United Way locally during our hometown huddle event. It's a league-wide day of service designed to advance health and wellness of youth. Last year, our players, in connection with the NFL's Play 60 campaign, created a Colts-themed fitness room for youth at the Mary Rigg Neighborhood Center in Indianapolis. It's a heck of a facility. That's why we're here this morning, to celebrate serving and giving back. We're here to celebrate your volunteerism. You should be very proud of that. Your efforts have helped raise, as the number was mentioned, I've got $268,000 here, but I guess we're at $270,468.32. Is that right? I got close. That's tremendous. That's outstanding. Again, our mission is to serve and to give back. Our mantra, if you will, at the Colts is to serve and to give back. And that's all I've asked since day one of everybody in our entire organization. And that was created a long time ago by Mr. Uwci and the Uwci family. He believes in faith, family, and football, and he believes in serving and giving back. And he is by far the greatest owner in the National Football League. Everyone in this room has faced circumstances, adversity. Everybody's got stuff, right? We all got stuff? Raise your hand if you got stuff. I like to call it stuff. It's going to happen, and you got to prepare. You got to be ready for it. It's just part of life. Life's tough, and as long as you understand that, and the sooner that you figure out that life's tough, guess what? It starts getting a little bit easier. How were we able to accomplish all that we've done, or how were you able to accomplish all that you've done, professionally, considering your circumstances? My condition, I want to talk to you about condition and position. My condition was, I was diagnosed with APL, a form of leukemia. My condition was, when I got here, according to the so-called experts, that I inherited the worst team in the National Football League. That was my condition. More importantly, my position was, and it's one that I chose, was to serve, beat cancer, and be around for a long time for my family. My position was we were going to win, and we were going to win now. More important than my condition was my position. And that goes for everybody in this room. How I chose to think. How you choose to think. My journey started in 1984 as a graduate assistant at the University of Southern California. 28 years later, and 12 stops along the way, I got my dream job. It's amazing how things happen. It's amazing how things come down the pike that you don't expect. I was in a championship game. I was a defensive coordinator in 2011 with the Baltimore Ravens. We're playing the New England Patriots up in Foxborough. Score was 23-20. We were down 3 points. Joe Flacco was taking us down the field for what would be the winning touchdown drive and a trip to Indianapolis to play the Super Bowl. I knew I was coming to Indy. And you know the rest of the story, right? I had no idea I was coming to be the head coach. I thought I was coming to play in a world championship. He throws a strike to Lee Evans, number 83, in the corner of the end zone. I don't know, maybe many of you remember the game. We all thought touchdown, and the defensive back from New England got his hand in there and knocked the ball out incomplete. Because it would have been 2 weeks of preparation for the Super Bowl. They would have had to move on. They would have had to hire a coach. So it's crazy how things happen. We always talk about living in vision and not circumstances. Our circumstances coming in here in 2012 was us taking over a team that was 2-14. Organization was blown up, extreme makeover, if you will. Rookie GM, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, ton of great players. Starting with number 18 out the door, right? No chance, right? And then you're diagnosed with leukemia in week 4 of your first season. Considering all that, how were we able to accomplish what we accomplished? How do you go from 2-14 to 11-5 and make the playoffs when everybody said you had no chance? You'd win maybe 4 or 5 games at the most. How do you have 7 fourth-quarter comebacks in 2012? Have Andrew Luck as your quarterback. And a lot of people that believe. We did this because when we got here, we established 3 main points I want to talk about. We established a vision, we established a culture, and then we talked about a process, how we were going to go about our daily business, how we were going to conduct ourselves. And when we talk about vision, our point number 1, it all starts with team. I heard the word team mentioned earlier. There's a team in this room. And when you come together, and the team is the most important thing, we always talk about team here and self here. Check your ego at the door. Don't worry about who gets the credit. If you can bring a group of individuals together, it doesn't matter what your cause is, and they care about the team first, the we, okay, and not the me, then you can do great things. Our vision was nobody was going to define us, not the pundits, not the newspaper writers, not the radio. Guys on the radio, people like that. Talk about opportunities for new players. Guys like Jarrell Freeman that were still sitting in that room. There was a lot of people that were missing in that room. I can remember looking at Reggie and Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney, and they were looking around, and a lot of their buddies, a lot of their guys, a lot of their teammates that they've won a lot of games with, won a Super Bowl with, played in 2 Super Bowls and won one, were all missing. But there was guys like Jarrell Freeman who played at that powerhouse school down in Waco, Texas, Mary Hardin Baylor. I know everybody's heard of it, right? Played in Canada for 3 years, got an opportunity. Ryan Grigson, our general manager, turned over a stone and found Jarrell Freeman. He took full advantage of that opportunity, didn't he? Back-to-back seasons with, I think he had 2 million tackles, in 2 years. A ton of stats. But it was a great opportunity. We talked about reloading, not rebuilding. Somebody said rebuild in the first year, and I said that I would cut or fine anybody who used the R word. There was only one person that could use that word, and you know who that person is, and I can't fine or cut him. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And one goal, one vision, and that was to hoist the Lombardi, win a world championship, and dance under that confetti. That's why we come to work every day. We wanted to establish, I talked about a culture, an environment. We wanted to establish a winning culture and a winning environment. I talked to the entire organization about we wanted that environment and we wanted that culture to be to where it didn't matter what you did for the organization, what job. It didn't matter if you were a person that emptied the waste paper baskets, sold tickets, worked in community relations, PR. It didn't matter. Player, coach, owner, GM, no role, no job was insignificant. We win as a team and we lose as a team. We wanted to create an environment and a culture where everybody couldn't wait to get to work. And they loved coming to work. And they loved being at West 56. Our core values, those things that hold up the shoe: trust, loyalty, and respect. That's what we were going to live by. You can put those up on a wall and paint them up there, and real easy. We can all spell them, we can all talk it, but you got to live it. Talking the talk is one thing, but walking the walk is another. Those things are all earned. You can't buy those things. Our culture would be one where we would make no excuses. It would have been real easy. They asked me at the owners' meetings my first time in 2012 when I went down there in the spring, and you have a round table like this full of local, national reporters, and one reporter asked me, he said, "Coach, considering the circumstances, the 2-14 season, all the players gone, Peyton gone, this, that, and the other, I've heard it over and over and over again, are you going to lower the expectations?" I said, "What? Lower the expectations? You guys have expectations in this room, right? We have goals we set. We have numbers we're looking for, right? We're never going to lower those. We want the bar where? We want it right here. Fear of failure will keep you from doing things. Fear of failure will keep you from being great. Because you have to put your tail on the line sometimes. And that's okay. If you stumble, that's all right. Dust yourself off, get back up, and try again. Accountability is huge. We're going to expect a lot from each other. We're going to hold each other to a high standard, players and coaches. Respect, like I talk about. Treat people like you want to be treated. Competitive drive. We were going to bring players in that love to compete, love to win. Mr. Ursay told me on my interview back in 2012, early January, he said, "I hate losing more than I love winning." Yeah, that resonated with me. We hit a chord right there. Sacrifice. It takes great sacrifice. It takes great sacrifice to do what you people do in this room, to give of your time. That's not easy to do. We'd all love to sit around at times when we're doing things out in the community and we're trying to raise money and we're trying to raise awareness for whatever, cancer, money for these families, kids, and help people get better. I mean, we could be sitting at home, sitting on the sofa watching, our favorite, sports channels and whatnot, but you got to sacrifice. And you don't want to be that guy. What I mean by you don't want to be that guy, we talk about accountability. You don't want to be that guy on 3rd and 1, doesn't know his assignment. 4th and 1, we need a yard, and you miss your block, or you let the ball go over your head as a defensive back because you haven't put the time in. Then we talked about, lastly, process. How are we going to go about our daily business? In a game, process is very simple. All I ask of our players and all our coaches ask is 60 minutes, all you got, one play at a time, don't judge. 60 minutes, all you got, one play at a time, don't judge. What do I mean by don't judge? Somebody mentioned the Kansas City game, right? We were down what at half? How many points? A lot. Is that what I heard? I like to use the word egregious amount. I can't spell it, but I love using it. And I know exactly what it means. We were down 21 points. Don't judge means don't look at the scoreboard. The first game I was away, the Green Bay game, I was sitting in a hospital bed watching a game with my wife for the first time in 25 years, and oh, how miserable that was. I can say that because she's not here. And I can also say I would not be here without her. She never left my side 26 days down at Simon Cancer Center. But watching that game, the Green Bay game, we all remember the Green Bay game, right, in 2012? Down 18, 21-3 at halftime. So when I talk about don't judge, we talk about don't look at the scoreboard. If you make a great play, put it behind you. If you give up a play or something bad happens, put it behind you, move on, go to the next one. So it didn't matter, okay, that we were down 18 at Green Bay. It didn't matter we were down 21 in the playoff game this year against Kansas City. We just stuck to the process, one play at a time. Right now, it's one practice at a time, one meeting at a time, one walkthrough at a time, one lift at a time. Do more, do better. And then when you come out and you throw an interception on the first play of the third quarter at Kansas City and they score 3 plays later and now you're down 28, it was one heck of a halftime speech. I was just hoping to God they didn't get it on tape. But that's how you overcome, because you have a process and you believe. It's the same process I used when I was diagnosed and I was sitting in that hospital. And I was there for 26 days. I just took it one day at a time. And the team inspired me, the community inspired me, the support. Everybody in this room, the city of Indianapolis, the state of Indiana, the organization, nobody knew me. We're only here 6, 7, 8 months. But the support, the way this city and this community and this state embraced me, so it's a debt I will never be able to repay. Ultimately, how you think about your position when faced with circumstances, it'll define you. The culture you create should reflect your values as you move forward in life. Your leadership, perseverance, and service will reveal yourself to those around you. Donating your time and funds not only helps a singular cause, but it promotes growth. And it brings people together, just like this morning. I'm proud to be a part of a team that has such a foundation in the community. Just this past year, the Colts participated in over 45 community events, over 150 player and coaching staff appearances. More than 25,000 youth across the state participated in free player camps, clinics, and combines. It's amazing. The Chuck Strong campaign has raised more than $1.1 million for continued cancer research at the IU Simon Cancer Center. And may God bless everybody here. Thank you.